Welcome to our channel History Saga. In this video we will learn about the history of India-Pakistan conflicts explained on the map. So let's start the video.
On August 14, 1947, the British government issued the Indian Independence Act, dividing British India into two dominions based on religion, India of Hindus and Pakistan of Muslims. This might be the first dawn of the two countries, but the darkest days of the world in the 20th century when about 15 million people had to leave their homes to evacuate to the new lands, causing religious and ethnic violence that led to the death of millions of people. The hostile atmosphere between the two nations has persisted for decades, leading to the outbreak of three major Indo-Pakistan wars in 1947, 1965, and 1971, and a limited war in 1999. The tension between the two nations continues to escalate till today, making the India-Pakistan conflict one of the world's longest-running conflicts. The relentless conflicts between India and Pakistan were mostly fueled by territorial disputes over the ownership of the Jammu and Kashmir region, the northernmost geographical region of the Indian subcontinent that is claimed by both countries. This tense situation stemmed from the partition plan introduced by India's Independence Act of 1947, in which the state of Jammu and Kashmir, under Maharaja Hari Singh, was free to decide whether to join India or Pakistan. As Kashmir is a Muslim-majority state, most people wanted to join Muslim Pakistan. However, Hari Singh wanted to maintain the region's independence, leading to dissatisfaction among the Kashmiri Muslims. They later launched a revolution, which was supported by tribal armed men in Pakistan's northwest frontier province. To fight against the invasion, in October 1947, Hari Singh turned to India for military support. In return, he was required to sign the Instrument of Accession, in which he agreed to accede his state to the Dominion of India. Pakistan, however, refused to recognize the Instrument of Accession as a legal document, sparking wars between India and Pakistan. On that basis, India sent paratroopers to Kashmir, quickly gaining control and repelling Pakistani troops. In December 1947, the Pakistani army and Muslim rebels continued attacking the southwestern Kashmir region. By May of the following year, hostilities were extended to the north and northwest of Kashmir. The war was not cooled down until the intervention of the United Nations, which pushed two sides to reach a ceasefire agreement on December 31, 1948, which went into effect the following day, establishing a ceasefire line, now called the Line of Control. After the war, India gained control of about two-thirds of the Kashmir state, including Kashmir Valley, Jammu, and Ladakh, whereas Pakistan gained roughly the remaining third of Kashmir, with Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. The Kashmir region again became the battleground of the Second Indo-Pakistani War, which triggered a series of clashes along the India-Pakistan border. On August 5, 1965, when Pakistani armed groups in Pakistan-controlled Azad Kashmir, west of the Kashmir region, broke through the ceasefire line into Indian-controlled Kashmir, India also allowed troops to occupy some points on the Pakistani side of the ceasefire line. Then, on September 1, the Pakistani army launched a significant tank attack on the Jammu and Kashmir regions of India. 5 days later, the Indian army organized a counterattack with Operation Grand Slam to capture Lahore, the capital of Pakistan's Punjab province. After many fierce battles that neither side gained victory, on September 23, the two sides ceased fire at the request of the United Nations. From January 4 to 10, 1966, a peace conference between India and Pakistan was held in Tashkent, now the capital of the Republic of Uzbekistan. The following month, an agreement was reached to restore the border of the two countries to the status quo before the war, with both sides agreeing to withdraw troops in the disputed area. This war killed more than 200,000 people, mostly civilians, but did not completely solve the border dispute between the two countries. The Third Indo-Pakistani War of 1971 was fueled by the crisis created by the ongoing political war in former East Pakistan, now Bangladesh. The war occurred when Pakistan erupted into a civil war between two wings of the country, West Pakistan and East Pakistan, which demanded independence. As India supported the Bengali struggle movement in East Pakistan and the establishment of the People's Republic of Bangladesh from Pakistan, Pakistan attacked several locations along India's western border with Pakistan. Still, the Army Indian team successfully held their positions. the Indian Army quickly responded to the Pakistani Army's movements to the west and achieved some initial victories. Within 2 weeks of intense fighting, Pakistani forces in East Pakistan surrendered to the joint command of Indian and Bangladeshi forces, after which the People's Republic of Bangladesh was established. On December 17, 1971, India declared a ceasefire, ending the Third Indo-Pakistani War. This war recorded the highest casualties of any conflict between India and Pakistan, as well as the largest number of prisoners of war since the Second World War. When the Pakistani forces surrendered, it perhaps lost half of its navy, a quarter of its air force, and a third of its army. After nearly 30 years of temporary peaceful relations, at the beginning of 1999, Pakistani troops infiltrated through the line of control and occupied Indian territory, mainly in the Kargil district, located west of the Ladakh region in the Jammu and Kashmir state. In response, India launched a major military and diplomatic offensive to drive out the Pakistani intruders. 2 months after the conflict, the Indian Army gradually recaptured most of the ridges that had been encroached upon by the intruders. Fearing a large-scale escalation of military conflict, the international community, led by the United States, has increased diplomatic pressure on Pakistan to withdraw its forces from the remaining Indian territory. By the end of July 1999, the organized hostilities in the Kargil district had ceased. The war was a major military defeat for the Pakistani army, with more than 4,000 Pakistani soldiers killed. On 26 November 2003, a ceasefire agreement between India and Pakistan took effect along the line of control that divided the disputed region of Kashmir. However, despite the agreement, the conflict between India and Pakistan is still smoldering, with both sides regularly exchanging fire across the de facto border. From late 2016 to 2018, border skirmishes escalated and culminated in the death of dozens of civilians and the displacement of thousands of people on both sides of the line of control. The tension only cooled down when the two nations agreed to restore the terms of their 2003 agreement, bringing about a ceasefire along the disputed Kashmir border. However, the agreement was fragile, with violence continuing to break out in Kashmir and a rising threat of terrorist activity by Pakistan-based militant groups. In February 2019, a rebel attack was targeted on an Indian Army convoy in the Pulwama district of the Indian-administered Jammu and Kashmir, killing at least 40 soldiers. The attack was considered the deadliest attack in Kashmir in 3 decades. 2 weeks later, India responded by conducting retaliatory airstrikes inside Pakistan, claiming to hit a terrorist training camp run by Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Pakistani militant group operating in Kashmir. The following day, Pakistan retaliated with airstrikes in Indian-administered Kashmir. On August 5, 2019, after deploying tens of thousands of additional troops and paramilitary forces to the region, India abolished Kashmir's semi-autonomous status and kept India-administered Kashmir under lockdown, a move that, according to Indian Prime Minister Modi, aimed at curbing insurgency and terrorism. However, the move once again prompted Pakistan's protests and condemnation, heightening the risk of conflict between the two nations. For more than 70 years, the tension between India and Pakistan over the disputed Kashmir region has never cooled down, sparkling a repeated cycle of violence. And
Thank
for
you for
peace,
watching this video.
Is considered
Do
a
like
ticking
and
time
subscribe
bomb,
to this
hiding
channel
the potential
for more
of a serious
videos.
military confrontation between two nuclear-armed rivals.
Thank you for watching this video. Do like and subscribe to this channel for more videos.